Oh my gosh. Oops, hello. I almost choked. I have a cough drop in my mouth. I almost choked and died. Well, that was close. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, good evening, good day. Yeah, I only have a little spicy specifically. Don't worry about the title because it's true. Nothing to be concerned about regarding what we'll be doing today. Let's see. Do I want to say anything before we start? Anything to note? Do we know who the killer is? The killer? We don't. We don't really have a lot to go on with this. We just know that it's not our client. Our client's a stinky liar, just like the rest of them. So what do you think, Mr. Wright? I think that prosecution is as confused as we are. After all. Lana? Who's Lana? Wait, who's Lana? Do we know Lana? Lana Sky. But that's we're talking to Emma. Oh, this must be her sister talking. Off screen. What voice did she have? I had her high and I was like, wait, that's too high. So I dropped it. It was something lower. The victim was murdered in 2 different places at the same time. And a different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes. Lana! Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed. I hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning. We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. So how'd it go? As Mr. Wright suspects, the police are clueless. I thought they were gonna say useless. I thought that said useless for a second. Honestly, it might be also useless. They don't really do much in this world. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain. A plea bargain? What do you mean by that? We agreed that if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma. But Lana, don't tell me you... Much to my regret, I'm as much in the dark about this as they are. Miss Sky. We found trace evidence of a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belong to Officer Drake Marshall. What kind of trace evidence? Bloodstained fingerprints, to be exact? That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you? In order to defend my sister, you're going to accuse Mr. Marshall? We have to play the cards we're dealt. Isn't that right, Miss Sky? Do what you have to do, Mr. Wright. Interesting. She's not gonna try to be like, oh, I did it this time? Interesting. Because last time she's like, I did it. I'm going to go receive my punishment now. Don't be my defense attorney. It's gonna be like a mark on your record. And now she's like, do whatever you must. Watch her, now that she has this information, somehow spin it to make herself worse. Does she want the capital punishment? No, that's ridiculous. Who is she protecting? Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. Defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is... I'm afraid you'll have to clarify. takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office. Yet the victim, Bruce Goodman, was staying at both places at the same time. Oh, that's not physically possible, is it? What's more, the victim from the evidence room just disappeared. Oh, right, my theory is that Mr. Goodman wasn't in the evidence room at all, and someone just took his key card and dropped it in the underground parking after the murder. So, I don't think he was... Yeah, that's what my assumption. And then, how did they get the blood on the shoe? I mean, the blood could have been placed before or after. Yeah. Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Emma! Wherever a court proceeding, don't butt in. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Wow, this is one messed up trial. It just bugs me that I have these like random kids stand next to me and they're like adding to the court proceedings. Like, okay, first of all, you're not on the defense, you're not on the prosecution, you never studied law, you have no credentials. You're like my shadow, but you like keep saying things in court. This is all getting recorded by whatever court transcriber that we never see in the game, but I'm assuming there is one because every court has someone to transcribe what happens, the proceedings. Oh my gosh, Emma. Why are there always these random kids standing next to me, making a ruckus? The law doesn't make sense to the world. Anyways, one of my duties as a prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today, I will present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. In so doing, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. Now it sets Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things, even though he doesn't know what's going on himself. And that's supposed to be an admirable trait. Yes, Phoenix! Oh my gosh. Very well, let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness of the day to the stand. For its first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department. The suspect, you mean the so-called murderer? Oh boy. Things are getting wild from the get-go. Oh, right, him. Will the witness please state his name and occupation? Yes, sir, I'm Officer Mike Meekins, sir. My occupation is, that would be murderer, sir. So you're telling us you're a professional killer? Yes, sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You've got to believe me, sir. Actually, what we'd like to hear from you is, sir, what you would call part of the younger generation, sir. A person whose actions adults can't possibly comprehend. Please, Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me, sir. Officer Meekins. Yes, sir. Give us your report of the crime. Consider that an order. Yes, sir, as you wish. After all, I'm part of the generation that must be told what to do, sir. You can't fault him for a lack of enthusiasm. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. It's odd. Why was he assigned to watch the evidence room that day? Why? Something happened last time. That was also odd. Someone was where they weren't usually. And it's all pointing back to the chief of police, who's moving these people around like pawns on a board. And even the chief prosecutor, she was gonna take the fall for all of this. even though she didn't do it. Because someone, the chief of police, probably has dirt on her or can do something to ruin the chances of career for a certain little Emma or something. I don't know. I think it might be something like that. Hello, Gyro. You just missed my hypothesis. But that's okay. You'll probably hear it again. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life. Then I did it. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake. Oh, so the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you? Do unto others before they do unto you. That's the Meekins family motto, sir. I see. Then you fainted and a colleague helped you regain consciousness. Yes, sir. He knocked me upside the head, sir. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. What I need here is more info to work with. We're gonna press him on everything. Mainly this first thing is ridiculous. Who assigned you? Was it the chief of police? Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you? Not? Yes, sir. I'm in charge of hiring new recruits, sir. Yikes, now there's a scary thought. Evidence transfer was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed. I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir. The Blue Badger? Yes, sir. The lovely police mascot created by the chief of detectives, sir. Oh my gosh. I wasn't sure it wasn't broken during the transferal process. That was my sole mission for the day, sir. Wow, that's not much. I see. Sounds like a very, important mission. After the award ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around. I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. Oh, so that's why you went to the evidence room. Tell us, what did you see when you got there? In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I correct? Precisely, sir. I have one right here around my neck. So then, your ID number should be listed on here, right? This one right here. Could you please read us the number? Yes, sir. It's 4989596. That's my number, sir. I see, huh? But then the number 4989596 is shown as being used twice. Who's the first person with all the sevens? Chief of police. Betting. Okay, I'm not gonna bet. You shouldn't bet on things you can lose. Please explain, witness. It's no mystery, sir. The first time is when I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. And the second time is when I went to get him after everything settled down. I see, so it was during that second time when... Yes, sir, that was when I spotted the man on the security screen. Oh, I need to look at that again. I need to look at the times. Where is that slip of paper? Wait, that's not it. This one. 5:14. This clearly ensures that Miles did not do it. What time was the murder? There it is. 5:30 at the latest. Okay. So you were attacked. Can you please tell us what exactly happened to you? It was a knife, sir. Knife. Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you. What happened then? Well, with me charging in on him like that, he looked as surprised as I was. You aren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into. That's when I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus struggling to detain him. That's how I got this gash on my hand. Maybe if you just kept it cool, your hand wouldn't be... When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar. What exactly do you mean when you say you did it? I know I don't look the type, but I'm really into Kung Fu films, sir. The man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him. You took his knife? I spun him around and performed a disarming maneuver. I made sure to close my eyes like a man. See, must have been desperate. Next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of my blood. And then the next thing I knew... Yes? He punched me right in my face, sir. He was a one-hit knockout. What time did you regain consciousness? No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that I was unconscious? Oh, you would know that because you wake up, you look at a clock. Meekins, oh my goodness. Alright. According to the report from the officer that broke up the witness, it was about 5:30. Hit me right in the head, too. I woke up crying tears of pain. That's nice, or I mean, it's nice that you recovered, that is. When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir. Your mission? Yes, sir, the Blue Badger, sir. I returned him to the entrance before things got out of hand. Well, we can all rest easy now. We now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened. Yes, Your Honor, only one thing remains unclear. Was the man this officer murdered really the victim? You got a point. Yes, Officer Meekins? With regard to that, sir, take a look at this. I was sent to my jail cell. Chief Gant delivered it to me just this morning, sir. The chief delivered it? What is that? A videotape? Yes, sir. That's absolutely right, sir. Videotape, sir. It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room.
Objection!
What? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape. I was told it had been mistakenly erased. That's quite a mistake. I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at. Looks like communication with the police department is as good as ever. Well then, let's have a look. Show us the video of you murdering the victim. That chief of police is suspicious. Oh, please stop using that word murder, sir. It scares me. A video of a real murder. Just what are we getting ourselves into? A murder trial, Phoenix. Oh, that's quaint. 514. They were murdered right in that corner. Oh, there he is. 3D modeled and everything. Wow, it completely stalled on purpose to cover his face. Did you notice that? Oh, we're gonna miss the most important part. Wow, I can't. This sucks. This camera sucks. Did he really crawl on the floor to get out of there? What a terrible video. Look at Edgeworth. Yeah, he gets it. It was a terrible video. It's not really conclusive. Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us? What was that whirling piece of plywood? But let us enjoy the entire criminal affairs department, sir. And the Blue Badger, sir. Why am I not surprised? This isn't going smoothly. As well, anyway. Tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter, someone. The evidence room and some sort of, activity did take place. Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that all right with you, Officer Meekins? Yes, sir. As you wish, sir. Oh, I should be reading this. I'm so sorry. We'll do it on the second go around. Oh, we'll read it on the second go around. Oopsie, I was like, this dialogue is different. What's this about a fingerprint? Each detective has been given a locker equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to. Intriguing, that would mean. I don't think he took his gloves off. The victim at the crime scene would have been Detective Goodman. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination. I don't know what this cross-examination will lead. Everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start. Now we'll read his dialogue. His face can't be clearly seen in the video. Tell me, were you able to get a good look at him? The face of the man who attacked you with a knife? Sir, if you must label people as having seen or not seen the man's face, I believe it would be classified as, the latter. The latter, but you were standing right in front of him, were you not? More to the point, you were the person who fought him, aren't you? Oh, yes, sir, but I didn't get a clear look at his face, sir. I'm not the kind of guy who looks directly at people when talking with them, you see. Yeah, that's a good trait for a police officer. I'm sure it's him. I'll bet my badge on it. Say goodbye to your badge. But there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. But you don't know that for sure, do you? You never actually saw Detective Goodman's face. Well, I suppose you might say that. That is, if you must label people as having seen or not seen it. Since his face can't be identified in the video, only you can verify it. Why is everyone looking at me? I don't need to label your stairs as disturbing or... Meekins. Having been shown a questionable video at best, we are not in the best of moods. Now please be more certain when you testify. Yes, sir. You claim the man who brandished a knife on you was Bruce Goodman. Tell us why you're positive it was him. About these lockers, is there no other way to open them? No, sir. I myself tried all kinds of methods in the past. They only respond to registered fingerprints, sir. I wonder what kind of methods he's tried. The man opened the locker's lock, which only means to if the man opened the locker's lock, which only responds to its registered fingerprints, then he must be the person the locker was assigned to. Exactly my point, sir, and this too. Wow, 5 string streak, spicy, using it to say hello to your friend. Wow. Wow. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. How do you know that information? I heard rumors, sir, from people in the know, sir. People in the know. The workers in the department cafeteria, sir. They keep me informed. They also listen to my romantic troubles, sir. For the record, the open locker did indeed belong to Detective Goodman. I verified this information through a more reliable source. The victim opened the locker with his own fingerprint. Wow, 7 stream watch streak, Gyro. Wow. Wait, why is Spicy's name white? Seemed to be red. Odd. That must be him. No one else could have unlocked it. However, the most important detail is not shown in this video. The man's face. Sir, let me say something, sir. Please do. After all, you're the one being examined. I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock. And it was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir. I understand I'll stay can testify enough to this, sir. Yes, you have a point. Footage doesn't lie. That is, unless the defense can find a problem with it. It's so right. Let's check the court record again. Is there a problem with the... yeah. Regarding the video contained on this tape, there is one thing in particular that seems rather strange. Strange? This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman. What? This video contains such a contradiction? Spicy, ridiculous.
Objection!
Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video. You would want me to point it out? Very well, proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. So Wright, please show us this contradiction you speak of. Whoa, Spicy, you're ridiculous, not normal? That's crazy. I can't believe you'd admit that live on twitch.tv/soupy. I have to point out a problem in the video. This is the first time I've ever had to do that. You can do it, Mr. Wright. Emma, I don't need your encouragement. You're like 15. I'm a grown man. I can handle this. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. Emma, I know how videos work. I'm a grown man with a law degree. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. Emma, please. I know what I'm doing. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching the video. How did this guy ever become a police officer? Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where is the contradiction that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman? This... We're gonna rewatch the whole thing. Alright, it's not opened yet. He has gloves on. Oops, I pushed the wrong button. His glove fell down. Oh no! I misclicked. I misclicked. I wanted to reverse. Get me back in. Oh, I'm glad that. I have to know what's the rewind button because I was pushing Y to rewind because A is forward. Oh my gosh, stop telling me how to do things, you guys. Oh, this rewind is X. Doesn't he still have gloves on? That's a glove. Oh. He has gloves on, guys. Oh my gosh. Fine, let's play this stinking video again. Every time you point at something, right, someone gets in trouble, someone gets hurt. Yeah, I get it. I get it, Miles. But you point at us every day, and what are you trying to say? That you're hurting us on purpose? He has gloves on, and he never removed his gloves. That's what I'm pointing out. But they don't seem to care about that. I was like, whose blood is that? Oh, it's from the little guy. Let's just, like, go through this whole fight scene for a second. But I still got gloves hands. Oh, blood on the shoulder. His coat didn't have any blood on his shoulder. This is the glove that fell out. That's the knife that was used to stab. It wasn't broken yet. I want to see the picture. Wait. There was blood on his coat right there. Why is she wearing his coat? Wait, is that her coat? I don't remember. Okay, I messed up again. Let's try watch it again. Oh my gosh, you guys, stop talking to me. I just want to play the video again. I messed up. I get it. Why did he drop that glove? Why did he also leave this open? That's the only other thing I could think of. That's not really conclusive or decisive evidence. That's his locker. Wait a minute. This tie, his cravat does not have polka dots. This can't be him. If that's why, I would be upset. Like, people wear different clothes, you know what I mean? If this is like a reason. Also, his coat looks slightly different. Why is there a wrinkle right here? What is this wrinkle? That's different. Is his belt? What is this line? Anyways. His outfit in this photo doesn't look like that. Wait, 514. Isn't this the thing that would prove it's not him? This 5 whatever, isn't it the time? I do kind of wonder if him dropping the glove means anything. Also, he still has his gloves on. I'm gonna point at when it says 515 is when I'm gonna point at it. Why is he also just standing there? Like he was waiting to get to stab somebody. Like he was triggered. Oh, he tried so hard to fight him. He's trying to do his kung fu. Can I point at the time? Wait a minute. Parking in the prosecutor's parking lot. He entered the lot at 5:12, so at this point, he was already at the lot. I want to present that. Hmm. $5.14. What am I looking for? A contradiction. Can I... Why can't I present that? Maybe there is no evidence here and we're just like looking at it. What kind of stinking detective would leave their locker evidence open? And there's like way less blood on the walls than we found. So like Marshall Sheriff Marshall, that was probably... Oh wow, that was kind of cool looking. Meekins. That knife! What are they planning? Why was he standing there waiting to stab? I'm gonna point out the glove and hope for the best.
Take that!
No, I don't know.
Objection!
I don't know what to point out. Alright, let's think about this a little bit more thoroughly. Yeah, it's basically... it's very clearly why. But like...
Objection!
What? I'll like, you can get fingerprints snaps. I feel like I think about how to prove people wrong in the wrong way in this game. Is that true?
Hold it!
How do you know that information? Oh, yeah, he heard rumors. Oh.
Hold it!
Someone else could have. Back to the record. There's something wrong with this. I left it for a mere 30 seconds and now we'll run all the way back. Let's see it, Mr. Wright. Show us the video. Phoenix's voice is Sam Riegel? He doesn't have a voice. I am his voice. Is it like a movie or something? Is it already... Wait a minute. It doesn't have a name. Why is it missing his tag?
Take that!
As I understand, the locker apparatus works like this. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint. If it's a match, the light turns on and the locker is released. Oh, when he says objection and take that and stuff, you know what? He says that, I just like block it out. I don't hear it. I know I hear it, but I don't like register it as someone saying something. It's like a sound, like a buzzer to me. Regarding my limited experience, that's the way you understand it, sir. If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. Oh my gosh, it's so slow. Why? How long do we have to wait for this? Oh my gosh, I already pointed it out. Why are we watching the whole video again? When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker. Oh yeah, the photo in the locker? Yeah, that was Gumshoes. I don't know, it looked like a lady. Do you think he's married? Are you upset about that? Anyways. Let's rewind to a little earlier. Here, notice the light? What's this? It's already lit. Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle. Ah! Why would the chief prosecutor want to be thrown into jail? And why would the people of the SL9 incident want, or SL2 incident, want her in jail? And why would they murder one of their own to accomplish this? What do they get out of it? Do they get redemption? Marshall wants a promotion. Bento lady wants to be an investigator again. Chief of police, chief of prosecutor wants her sister to have a good career, presumably. Why? Very simple, Your Honor. The locker was unlocked on the day of the crime.
Objection!
But the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered, and the locker is automatically locked. Oh, I know, it must have broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this. That's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction. Ooh, Marshall, you're gonna get in trouble. Oh well, it just goes to show an officer should keep their mouths shut. So then, Mr. White, do you have an explanation? Me, Your Honor? Yes, why wasn't the locker locked? Me, Your Honor? Yeah, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator? Phoenix, this is a child. She is not equipped for court. Oh my gosh. Maybe something like jam the system sensor? Something jam the sensor, say a glove? There's something else that seems out of place in this video. Yeah, I thought so too. There's got to be another clue somewhere in this footage. Very well, let's inspect the video once more. The locker was unlocked. So Wright, please point out the cause for this. Good thing we've already examined this whole video like 4 or 5 times, so we know exactly what he's talking about when they're like something was jammed in there to prevent it from closing. Pause. There it is. Please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier. Oh my gosh, please speed this up. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, speed up the video when we've already seen this 5, 7 times. Pause. Oh my gosh, just let it fall to the floor. What's this? Something white fell out of the locker. Sir, it's been my experience that things fall out of when doors are open. I have to fall out and roll great distances when I open my door. We can't be sure. That item was completely inside the locker to begin with. What do you mean? The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door? Inserted? Oh my gosh, why we watching it from the beginning? Oh, at least speed it up. What is this? What is this? This white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor. Oh, you can stand now, sir. It's just like my die. 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir. Instead of the door closing, my tie chokes me. But the object would have to be extremely thin to fit in the door. Not only that, it would also have to block electrical currents. It would need to be an insulator. Yes, an insulator, but the crime scene. There just might have been something that fits the description. But sir, by insulator, you don't mean... I think I finally got this figured out. Very well, will the defense please present the relevant evidence? What was this insulator that was stuck in the locker door? I found this near the locker. A thin rubber glove. You know what? I have to think about so many electrical things for D&D. I should you talk to like a scientist. But we can't be sure that was in the victim's locker. It has a tag that says SL9 incident. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker. That isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is this not so, Officer Meekins? Sir! It would appear so, sir! Order, order, order. So are we to believe then that the victim, whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room, was not Detective Goodman? I don't think Detective Goodman was in on this heist. Because otherwise he wouldn't have allowed himself to die for it. But he was a part of it for this part, I believe. To keep the locker open. Ooh, someone tricked him.
Objection!
Do not be misled, Your Honor. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? The defense has merely demonstrated that possibility and nothing more. The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this. What? Officer Meekins? Please testify about this. That's not me, sir. I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir. Is this a joke? Very well, begin your testimony. He's doing so much testifying. There's one other thing that proves the man was indeed Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. An ID card record. I see. I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. Whoa, that's my ID card record. The ID used at 5:14 is that of the victim. Just before the crime, yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. We already know for a fact that the victim lost his ID card. What is this game they're trying to play with us? However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Why were there so few people using this room? This particular evidence room is only used for stirring certain special cases. Special cases? Extremely violent cases involving police staff. Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end. Me too, although it doesn't make much of a difference. There were only a few cases up for transfer there, and most were cleared up by noon. Alright, I see. Now let's move on to the cross-examination. Dude, should I try Edgeworth? Probably should. Later. So, Unlike your earlier testimony, you believe this to be rock solid, do you? Yes, sir. Solid as a stone, sir. My hand was wrapped in bandages. I didn't even give the very perfectory sign, sir. Didn't he just use his right hand for that? Let's hear him out fully. As we've seen, one never knows what he might say until the very last second. Is the card hanging from your neck one of these ID cards? Phoenix, he said this already. You're making him repeat himself. Yes, sir. This card right next to my cuff, sir. Keep it here so I won't ever forget it. Well, what if someone were to steal it from you, keeping it out in the open like that? Maybe I shouldn't wear it around my neck. Remember when I said 2 out of 3 times my tag gets stuck when I get out of my car? Well, the remaining time it's my ID card that gets stuck. Instead of the door closing, my ID card chokes me. Maybe I should just leave this one alone. At any rate, each police officer has only one ID card. Both the police department and the prosecutor's office can attest to this. Please proceed with your testimony. Let it be noted that this is the record the witness referred to. Let me see. Yes, that would be it. Detective Goodman. What's the matter? According to this, Sir Edgeworth, your name is on here. Oh my gosh, Judge. Yeah, we've seen that like the beginning of this court case. So it is, Your Honor. Not that prosecutor again. Mommy, who's behind all this? Being a prosecutor, you can hide the evidence. Mommy, is that man in blue a murderer? Sure, don't stare at him. Maybe you got the wrong color, kid. It would seem the inquiry committee will want to speak with you again today. I have nothing to be ashamed of regarding my actions or their consequences. But now let us continue with the cross-examination. For Mr. Edgeworth, it must be so difficult for him. Wait, why did the judge bring that up? Just to waste our time? Be like, oh, Edgeworth, look, your name's on this too. Cause a commotion. Does not say anything else about it. Like, he just wants to, what? Intimidate the prosecution? This judge. Retire? Get a new judge on the board. Like, you're getting senile, man. Anyways, earlier I believe you testified that when you asked the man to show his ID card, he pulled a knife on you. Yes, sir, he didn't show me any ID card, sir. Don't you think that's odd? I mean, if he had his ID card, all he had to do was show it to you. There wouldn't be any reason to draw a knife. Maybe he just panicked. Everything stems from contradictions. Let's point them out. Mr. Wright, what do you think? I'm confused. What? The problem with this ID card testimony is far too obvious. It's not like Edgeworth to miss something like this. You think too hard about it. Come on, let's show them what we've got. Oh my gosh, Emma, I got this. I'm gonna say that he didn't use it.
Objection!
Wait one moment, Officer Meekins. No good at waiting, sir. I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene. That makes sense. When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. A very important clue regarding the victim's ID card. A lost item report. Only half completed. This shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess, you believe this something to be his RT card, right? I can't say for sure, but there's a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card. Order. So now, what does this all mean? It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered at the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card. Order. Does the prosecution have a response? I have only one thing to say to the defense. Bravo, Mr. Wright. Bravo? Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the lock in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Yeah? What's he up to? That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. The victim in this video is fake. And the murder in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder. That is... well, I guess that's right. Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? No, that's perfect. Great. Only moments ago, you seemed connect to me pointing your finger around. Yeah, this is fine. This isn't going to end well. Phoenix, this is what we wanted. This is a fake murder. This isn't what happened. We found the truth. Why do you like this? Oh my gosh. Well, it seems you finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove. Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth. The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime. So, the real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot. At the prosecutor's office, the murderer being Miss Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness observed the moment the defendant used the murder weapon. We can still work out of this. I knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning. The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered? And where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman. Just so, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, you have to do something or else Lana. Oh, he's entering the zone. What do I do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this mess? Do what I always know how to do. One moment, Your Honor. What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven. Of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. Oh my gosh, do not play the whole video. This is ridiculous. Oh my gosh, why is it so long? However, it cannot be said that it is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Specifically, large amount of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. This court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared? I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident. This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand. Mr. Wright, do you mean? Emma, how are you hearing my thoughts in my head? Your Honor, the defense would like to request a specific witness. Oh, whom do you have in mind? Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room. The prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply. Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testify, what is his or her name? Oh, I know. He's 33. Everyone's like in their low 30s. They're so young. Except this guy, he's a baby.
Take that!
Officer Jake Marshall. Why him? Can't let Edgeworth know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say. The prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare. Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is subpoenaed. Subpoenaed? What a weird verb. Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time? We will, Your Honor. Court is now in recess. Why so serious? Girl. There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright? Huh? What do you mean? You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you figured everything out. I haven't figured anything out. Lana! You're the one who knows everything. Emma. You always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you. I don't recall ever asking for his protection. How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me? Hope I'm not interrupting anything, Baz. Oh, hey, yes I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? Hey, you've got a lot of nerve, pal. Making a detective run all around while on duty. To top it off, you call me here. I'm staying happier people at funerals. Sorry, detective. You better be, pal. Hey. I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Sky. That's okay. So have you brought what I asked? Oh, you mean this, right? My apologies, detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request. My name? In a million years would I thought it was you who asked me. Did I bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files? I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy. The SL9 incident? Alana, that's... I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them. Yeah, I can't believe you. The chief prosecutor were a witness in that case. This guy was a witness? Joe Dark. That's like... What a name. Take it from me, you don't want anything to do with the serial murders. Oh, what? Now that I brought your stuff, you're just gonna ignore me? Emma, but why? Why is your name in here? What? My name's in there? I don't know. Unless... No, it couldn't be. Lana, this SL9 incident, is that? That's a classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark killings. Joe Dark! No, Lana! That's over with! No! Emma, wait, she ran away. Yeah, okay. You know what? I just remembered I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here. Dick Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to these killings 2 years ago. Can't be just a coincidence. Knowing you just might be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. I better take a good look at this file. You fell asleep, Jayo? Was it just so soothing and so comfortable? You're just like, wow. What a state of bliss to be in. I don't know why I'm asking. I know that's the reason why. Hehe. But we're now reconvened for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. Emma didn't come back, which makes sense because she's not supposed to be in court anyways, because she doesn't have a law degree. Allow me to call. Hello. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. You can't drink alcohol in court, dude. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Me, partner, and I'm just a man same as you, wandering the trails of civilization. Patiently helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it. Oh, I know you're a patrolman. It's my name. If you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling it out. To be exact, it's Jacob Marshall, Your Honor. Howling wind. I know you've heard Edgeworth described that way before. Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day that the crime took place. Is this correct? According to the papers, partner. What do you mean? Desperado souls as boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up. Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimony of the day of the crime. In plain old English. Yeehaw. My job was to keep a wary eye on the growing orchard. They say I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at a street side saloon at the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. Can't say I particularly care for your attitude. I can't say I care for you and beer, but you don't see me complaining. Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems? I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those. Yes, well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence lockers? Fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those? Not being very helpful. It's not that good with machines or with following orders. Everyone's got their weaknesses, don't they, Mr. Prosecutor? This one seems like trouble. Hey, Mr. Wright, he's all yours. We're gonna press him on everything. Get the truth. We're gonna make him cough up the truth.
Hold it!
How exactly did you keep an eye on the evidence room? I just made sure nothing moved in the security camera monitor. That room's so still. And time dies in there. I was just a caretaker who interred the recordings. You interred them? Videos are nothing on that useful. When time would come, I'd erase the tape. Nothing as unusual as recorded tapes ought to be erased every 6 hours. Time I'd erase the tape, it felt like I was erasing a part of my life. This guy has a flair for the dramatic, but it isn't going to do him any good. So in actuality, you don't physically enter the evidence room?
Hold it!
You made your rounds on the day of the crime, right? Ain't you heard a word I said, partner? I told you that ain't my style. I'm afraid I don't understand. No desperado I know lets rules get in the way. No desperados I know joined the police force. No Officer Marshall on the day of the crime. Just between you and me, I didn't set foot in the evidence room that day. There's a rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker. Do you know anything about that? Sorry, partner, can't say I do. I haven't been in that crypt in weeks. How does this guy avoid getting fired? You used to be a detective, so you've used the evidence room in the past, correct? Of course, back in the day, my locker was a gold mine of evidence. And yet you didn't know about the fingerprint locking mechanism? Sorry, partner, I ain't good with machines. I couldn't even tell you how a bike works. That's quite incredible. Sensors in the locker handles cannot be seen. Well known that some detectives are unaware of their presence. Now that you mention it, Detective Gumshoe said something like that too. At any rate, it doesn't seem that this is relevant to the crime. Can you tell us what you were doing when the crime took place? What were you doing in a place like that? I was in spaghetti. Not even an angel's take lunches can beat that palace vongole sapia pasta. You mean to tell us you abandoned your police duties to eat some noodles? Not all desperados eat tacos, partner. That's not what I meant. But this has at least taught you a lesson. That's strange. This is usually where Edgeworth says, "Do you not want to raise this here?" Out of ammo, Officer Marshall? That's right, partner. Or as you'd call it, evidence. If you plan to pin me to this crime, then you'd better draw. Otherwise, you're just wasting my time. I still was waiting to carry me back west into the sunset. One thing seems clear. Despite being responsible for guarding the evidence room, the witness doesn't appear to have seen anything. Texans don't take orders from anyone. Everyone knows that. Apparently your superiors don't. I have a trump card up my sleeve, so I best keep my cool. Or I use it though, I'd better up the ante. Okay, so he doesn't want to use the hard evidence here, his hand. Oh, we should read this. Well, death sentence. Neil Marshall. That might be someone who knows. The brother, maybe? So the skies were witnesses. Damon Gant, we know that guy. I need to remember who Damon Gant is. What? Oops, I accidentally hit autoplay. No. I guess we don't have a list of people. That's too bad. I want to ask him who went in, but he probably doesn't even know. It's probably him, honestly. So his job is to keep an eye on the invest in the room. And he's supposed to go in there 3 times a day, but he didn't. It's protected by 2 security systems. Actually 3. Wait, 1. 1 to get in. The camera. And the fingerprint, so it's 3. I'm gonna press it and I'm gonna see if I can present while he's talking. I want to present this now. Okay, it's not letting me. Let's do it now.
Objection!
Oh, I had a feeling it wouldn't let me present it yet. But it's like he was there. Okay, so we're not doing that one yet. Oh, excuse me. Get sleepy. I guess I could present this, that there's actually 3.
Objection!
Oh, that's true. He's wrong, there's at least 3. Yeah, he's bad with tech. He's probably not actually bad. Probably that's a joke. Ugh. Whoa, that's weird. Jar has no bottoms, the hole goes right through. I wonder if it's really a jar or some kind of weird telescope. I think it's really a jar. How do I up the ante? So your job was to keep an eye on the place. Yeah, we know that. You didn't make your rounds. Because you went to eat spaghetti. But were you were actually in there because we saw your handprint, but I can't show that yet. have to buy 2 security cameras. You weren't eating spaghetti at that time? I don't think so. We can't place you anywhere. I want to ask him about this, about if that's his ID card. I don't think it's time for this. I think it's gonna mess us up, but like that's the only thing I have to work with right now. Ugh. What should I do? Can I press it here? I want to know who is this person?
Objection!
Oh, I could play this one. I just chose the wrong section. That's enraging. Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? That is, you being called in to testify like this? Well, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime. Yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner. It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the crime scene. To be exact, a handprint. Huh, wasn't real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crib. I pay my respects, that is, make my rounds about once a month. Only natural my fingerprints would be in there.
Objection!
I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood. Dude, what is his outfit? Witness, what is the meaning of this? Your bloodstained fingerprints were at this crime scene? The blood was wiped away, however, a luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall? Seems to me, there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall. But about the blood-stained fingerprints. Very well, you may begin your testimony about your fingerprints found at the scene of the crime. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the blood-stained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The blood stain and the fingerprints are completely unrelated. Didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? He had nothing to do with it. The witness's explanation appears valid. Though there's room for doubt. Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. This guy's hiding something, I can feel it. That was my chance to prove it. How much beard is he gonna cut? He's gonna have only stubble by the end of this court case. That's because how did you put it, pay your respects once a month? Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine. What do you mean? You mean what I said? That's the locker I used when I was a detective. locker I still use. Oh, it's in there now. There was a heap of broken dreams. I see. It's strange my prints weren't all over that locker. Apparently his fingerprint data was never removed from that locker's programming. He must have been using the fingerprint mark all this time without ever knowing it. So then, what about the bloody handprint? Was it mine is no mystery. Please explain. My locker is covered with my fingerprints. It just so happened. The chances of that happening are 1,000,000 to 1. On the contrary, one could argue just the opposite. Chances of that not happening are 1,000,000 to 1. Get one thing straight, partner. You ain't gonna get no reward from me with a mere fingerprint. You wanna know why? Unrelated. They're as different as night and day. I like cereal and cereal. One's gotta do with breakfast while the other's a type of murder. He's right, although seemingly alike, they're totally different. I don't see what homonyms have to do with this. How do you know that? I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports. There was a blood stain at the scene that ought to be left by the murderer. That's right. Found on Detective Gumshoe's locker. However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint. Oh yeah, I think we tried that too. So that would mean the murderer wearing gloves happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint. That's the only logical conclusion. Are you starting to get the picture, partner? The picture? The sea of blood in the desert is just food for the buzzards. There's only one reality, and that's this. Security tape. As long as my trial isn't in there, you can't say otherwise. This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall. Too bad it wasn't me in that video, right, partner? What do you mean by that? What a time he did this crime, isn't that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have.
Objection!
That video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots. Blind spots? Places you can't see. The camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. Someone was familiar with the camera's position. They could leave the room without being caught on tape.
Objection!
We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright. Well, Mr. Wright, if you could show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall is present, please do so now. Very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall. Tread carefully, Mr. Wright. You might wind up being the one making the mistake. Now then, let's have another look at the video. Show us this incriminating evidence of the witness, Jake Marshall. Snaps, I don't know. I just knew I couldn't not do it. Spicy, you fell asleep too? That's crazy. Why are you so sleepy? Wow, I can't racially profile him. Because it's like grayscale and unclear. You just got home from Atlanta? How was it? party rocking? Dude, how do I prove this was Marshall? Plane was stuck in Kansas City for 4 hours. Actually, that sucks. Bring our attention back to the security camera. It's a mistake, I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall. There's a short in Texas, and so are our tempers. You sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less. Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video. Exactly 8 words is not bad, partner. The key lies at a certain locker shown in the video. I can't believe I noticed that. The locker with the white cloth sticking out. That was the witnesses, I believe. Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. No, speed it up, speed it up. What do they have in Kansas? Do they sell like, what's their specialty item? Is it popcorn? Oh, the white cloth, it's gone. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall? Barbecue! When the crime took place, that white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away. Order! It would seem it's only... Hold your horses. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man. What if my locker was opened? Doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. If you don't respond, you fell asleep again? Why, you're so sleepy. Ew, don't forget to eat dinner. The murderer needed to hide something, so he opened a locker and stuck it in. Not my fault you having to choose mine. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man? He isn't just playing dumb. He really doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who could open that particular locker. Oh yeah, I call you a bluff. You say I opened that locker? Now prove it. Fingerprint sensor? Talked about this earlier today. Lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to. What kind of crazy talk is this? Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less? Ooh, what is that, leather? I only got 1 word for you, partner. No! That was cool, do it again. Do that pose again. Order, witness, explain yourself. This is a joke, it's the worst I've ever heard. I assure you this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime. Olay, please answer the question. What is he now, a bullfighter? That's alright, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest out from here. We can? Have a look at these floor plans. There's no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Get Officer Meekins and see Officer Marshall. That's so, then where was the witness? seems Mr. Wright has an answer. That's right. The only possible conclusion? Well then, let's hear it. What was Officer Marshall at the time of the crime? Officer Marshall is standing right here. There, but that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was. Correct, unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. Is you dressed up like Detective Goodman?
Objection!
That's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure.
Objection!
May I point out that Officer Meekins didn't know Detective Goodman. He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show his card, sir. Oh yes, and how did Detective Goodman respond? Suddenly pulled a knife on me. Something about the officer's story puzzled me. The man had his ID card. Why didn't he just show it? Yes, who have just needed to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it. The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on the ID card. Oh, I get it. He showed that his cover would have been blown. The Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall? You got quite an imagination, partner. We've got a term for that, called circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence? He's still denying it? You're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective. I'm gonna save. I do not want to do this all over again. As you've evidence proved I dressed up as a victim. I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition. I can't say I care for your beer, but you don't see me complaining. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim? Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that. I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems that you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat. This can't be happening. So obvious he's the one, what can I do? Looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you've run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics. The basics? I mean, that would be what Mia used to tell me. Phoenix, try thinking outside of the box. I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. But rather, I should look for evidence that he came about because he was in disguise. Why do you think this locker was opened in the first place? What do you mean? There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. That he did despite the chance it might be discovered later, as it has been. Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker. According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime, and after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason to hide the outfit. In fact, the white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it in order to put the cloth inside. So just what exactly is this piece of cloth? Perhaps the video is the key to all our unanswered questions. I don't have any evidence, so this video is my only shot. Very well, let's take another look at the security tape. Committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. He was wearing it. I'm just gonna click on the blood stain. For some reason, you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman and enter the evidence room, though I don't know to what end yet. However, something unexpected happened. Tamikins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Tamikins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood. A bloody white coat? You couldn't just walk out like that, so you hid the coat in your locker. Not bad, partner. Now then, Officer Marshall, are you ready to tell us the truth? Looks like I underestimated y'all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, you were only half as persistent then as you are today. We all wouldn't have to be here now would we? So Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it. All that, seems the time has come. I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID, and just like him, I planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out. Managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. Wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. So the supposed victim was really you. That's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. No one was murdered, then how could that be? Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor. Was way too much blood for such a small donation. Why do we have to cross-examine him? He confessed. We accept this confession. Let's move on to the actual crime that we want to investigate. When you say it, you mean... You didn't have to ask, partner? Vessel 9 incident. 2 years have passed since that case was closed. It's going to completely end with the transfer that day. Not if I have anything to do about it. And it's not over. What did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room? When a case is closed, only that case's lead detective can look through the evidence. I want to have a look at it myself one more time. No matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner, that case is mine. Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it? That day was my last chance, that's why I... Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman? If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transfer, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. So you did it to fool the security camera. The detective's ID card? I stole that the morning of the incident. That really was why Goodman started filling out the lost item report. I returned his ID card, left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot. The ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall. So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean the fingerprint activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. In normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker yourself. But you could because a rubber glove just happened to get stuck in the door. That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. You pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off? Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone could actually come in during that short time. Sir Meekins certainly is a 1 in a million type of person. Searching a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID. I'll have to think a little more about his raise this year. When did Edgeworth get so much influence? Anyway, he threw himself at me and I ended up cutting him slightly. Sorry it turned out that way. Me knocking him out and everything. By the way, what happened to your knife? You mean this one? I don't know what to say. So you knocked out Officer Mika's out and... So you did your research beforehand. Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference though. The security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left. However, you bloodied your coat in your struggle with Officer Meekins. Someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. Opened my locker and stashed it in there. What was Officer Meekins doing during that time? What else? He was sleeping like a baby. So what you're saying is, on that day... Well, the blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place. What, are you blind? The victim shown on that tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner. So you stole the evidence from the locker. Actually, no I didn't. Why not? When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone. What? Mr. Edgeworth, where's that evidence? It's still missing, Your Honor. Detective Goodman's locker was already empty. Someone else stole the evidence. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing? Fire away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer. Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID, injuring a police officer. This is no small offense. Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. Can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary. None of those salary cuts are ever a valid solution. Like I said, this isn't your case, this one is mine. I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with. Witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more. I just can't forget the SL9 incident. You know why? The case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it? That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room. Joe Dark was convicted for his crimes. One thing I can say for sure is he deserved his sentence. I remember the Joe Dark case involved serial murders, didn't it? I don't intend to complain about how it turned out. There's something that still bothers me. Something went down at the trial. Something no one will talk about. What happened? I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Why is he so concerned with that incident? Maybe I should present him with what I think his real reason is. I had a feeling we'd wind up here sooner or later. I'm involved here is related in some way to that case. Let's take a look through the files.
Objection!
It's his name. So Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident. I'm like, you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner. I have the SL9 incident file here. Name Marshall is mentioned in here. And a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall, are you related to this man? Neil Marshall. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the name. 2 years ago. He received the same lousy prosecutor. He received the same lousy prosecutor award you got. What? A prosecutor? You must be talking about the King of Prosecutors award. Now I remember, Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did. That's right, he was killed. The case fell into your hands. What's his relation to you? He was my brother. I guess they look alike, sort of. He was investigating the murders with David Gant, then Deputy Chief of Police. The group of detectives I was part of worked under them. They were desperate to prosecute the killer. Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. That was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed. At least according to the public records. What do you mean? My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight. And that's it. That's your reason for your insane actions. Now, there's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me. Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened to the police department on the day of the crime. That was the last day the SL9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with this resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. The Meekins confronted him, so he rendered himself unconscious and fled. Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. The things that happened by chance never cease to amaze. At exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department. Chance. It's gotta be more than just that. So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking lot was the real one. Which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye.
Objection!
But wait, a verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial.
Objection!
Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today. But there's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. It seems to me this boy's got the draw on you, partner. I just realized Edgeworth's BA for his objections is much lower than Phoenix's, but when I do their voices, I swap it. I make Edgeworth's voice higher and Phoenix's voice lower. All of the mysteries at the police department have been resolved, no doubt about it. A sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Skye. And the testimony of one Miss Angel Starr is completely incontestable. If you have response, make it a single word or less. Objection. I rest my case. He's so full of himself. Seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt. Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time disproving the alleged murder at the police department. There's no doubt about what I proved that. No, there's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake. But I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty. Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. Court finds the defendant. Your Honor, wait. Emma, the defense has an objection, a scientific objection. Right? What do you mean, right? Mr. Wright, are you this girl's guardian? Your Honor, in a sense. Please, Your Honor, all I'm asking is for a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please. I don't want to leave any loose ends. If you want a minute, I'll give you 3. was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dark killings. Now she mentions it. Names of both Sky sisters were in that file. That's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew this fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing, the other handprint. You mean the traces of blood found on Detective Gumshoe's locker? No fingerprints were found on it, right? No, but I figured out if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So I ran over there and looked at it again. So did you find something? No. Huh? Sorry, I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all, because you're 15. Is that all? Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student. I'm just an attorney. But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. We can't find something wrong with them. Please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you. Me? Oh boy. Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright. With regard to the incident, the police department. Does any reasonable doubt remain? It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this? Mr. Wright, I'm sorry it can't be of my use. But still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will be... Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day. Yes, Your Honor. If I ever needed to concentrate, it's now. What could be wrong with that handprint on Detective Gumshoe locker? Could there be something I'm missing? It wasn't in the video.
Objection!
Handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction. Gavin, it's crazy you redeemed that just now because I had just fixed my posture right before that posture check. That's crazy. Same brain cell. The only thing that seems clear is you're grasping Mr. Wright. You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them? Okay, I actually can't hydrate, don't dehydrate. Because I don't have any water. Because I drank all my water. It's gone, it's empty. It doesn't exist. Let me go get a water. No, I went so far to get water so your points would not be redeemed for nothing. You can't revolt. That's a... You cannot. Okay, back at it again. Okay, yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing. Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on there? Yeah, something that, when drawn, will completely change the meaning of the blood mark. Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright. With all this evidence here, there's gotta be something I can use. The question is, which item can prove something is missing in the floor plans? I mean, this is missing. Bother you with the blood mark. Stop. Okay, thank goodness they gave me another chance. I was like this thing, right? Yes. Defender of truth, guardian of proof. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The blue badger is not here. So watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Well, what? Ugh! That's right, so long as the blue badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint at the spot on the locker. Oh, I like that. I like that when he, yeah. When his poncho goes flying in the wind. So that means, what exactly does that mean? It means it can't be done. What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found on that locker. Don't look at me, I didn't put it there. Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically. Emma, when did you get here? Emma, on that afternoon. Officer Meekins was the one who brought the blue badger to the evidence room, right? After you put it down, it would be impossible to believe a handprint on the locker. So that must mean this blood mark was left there before the blue badger was brought in. Just one moment, I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom. It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once but twice. A towel. One time was captured on this tape, taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand, from which a trivial amount of blood fell. Problem is, the other time, the one blood prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered.
Objection!
That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claims.
Objection!
The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker.
Objection!
So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves when it occurred. When did the first incident occur? To summarize, the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence room. That's right. The blood mark on the locker proves this. Very well, then tell us, when did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be presented. Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that. Now then, will the defense please present its evidence? I mean, that's this. It has to be this. This is the proof. It's quite simple, you see. so simple they don't get it wrong. Huh? Snaps! They don't give me chances in this game. Alright, time to go all the way back. Good thing we saved at one point. Trying to make it all the way back, just like give me a second. I should have saved like after Emma talked. Oh my gosh, there's so much dialogue. I should have saved it ages ago. You know what? After I present the evidence, then I'll save. This is like so much. There's so much stuff.
Objection!
Come on, come on. Get me back to where I used to be. Pow. Oh, why is this guy still here, Marshall? Oh, that good animation. This is probably a good point to save. Save. That was a lot of dialogue. Okay, there's like way more dialogue than I thought there was. Oh my goodness.
Objection! Objection!
The objections get so hyped, like the music's so like...
Objection!
Objection! Objection! The real murder took place when? Could be this, right? And in order to do so, an ID card would have been required. Thank goodness. An ID card, oh, the ID card record. Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at, let's see here, 4:50. The crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40, yeah. Ah. Miles Edgeworth, just what have you done? Never would have figured you had the nerve, boy. Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me. Nope, I ain't getting it. Well, I'm afraid I don't understand either. Clear from the luminol test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer. I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible. That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room. Let's take a look at the chart again. There's only one other card number remaining, 7777777. Talk about a lucky number. Wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room? Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered it along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 7777777. Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID number is 7777777. That's 1 7 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card. At least at present. What? Explain yourself, son. ID number 7777777 belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher. Someone who is a so-called executive officer. You don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity.
Objection!
That's ridiculous. Just how I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There's one situation in which we can be granted such authority. If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted. An official charge? You're all like, aren't you? Your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates.
Objection!
I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay. Let me ask a question. Yes? No, not to you. To her, the defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive. Lana?
Objection!
Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course, we've looked up her ID number. It's not 7777777. Don't play with me for a fool, partner. That's the only way I wanted to ask. I want to know one thing about that incident. The 009 incident. Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence? Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor? Go ahead and fine, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time, occasionally we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least I did. Lana! I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. Before I realized that we were the ones being suppressed by the law. Defendant, just what are you saying? I ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me, an investigator, in that crime, in the eye and say that you did? Chief Prosecutor, you didn't. I don't have to, Officer Marshall. Why won't you answer him? Drastic crimes require drastic measures. And that's just the way it is. We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. Alana! Even if it involved forging evidence. See, that's what I'm talking about. No. No! Order. Ah, that's crazy. Honest remarks caused such a stir. The chaos in the courtroom could not be quelled. The conclusion of the trial would have to wait until the following day. Dude, what a thing to like announce in public. To the public, I should say. Dun, 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 dun. We should probably stop here. We only have half an hour left. I don't think we can get through a whole court trial in 1.5 hour. 1.5 hours though? Yeah, definitely. Oh, this looks like an investigation day. Yeah, we do not have time for this. Let's go back to home. That'll be it for today's what's it called? Trials. Dude. We didn't actually put Lana on trial today, but we did prove that she lied. If not for this trial, the trial 2 years ago. So in a way, we win. Isn't that nice? We win. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. Okay, I gotta get the biggest sleep. Oh, let's see. Anything I want to point out about the game today? I feel like this trial is like pretty convoluted. But I think compared to some of the earlier trials, I think this one is more maybe cohesive. It feels like less random in some ways. I remember the samurai one just felt like so like crazy. Like so many crazy things happen. This one is like, it seems more reasonable. Like people do crazy things, but like it like makes sense. Yeah. Maybe it's like the character motives are more stronger. Maybe that's it. Yeah. What else? Yeah, but this is like, these are like long trials. I think these trials are like, usually the formula they've been doing is like a section of investigation, a section of trial, investigation trial like for 1 day, 2 day, 3 day for your 3 trial thing. But this one's like they switched up the formula. I think we had 2 trials in 1 day, or 2. They split up. They gave us a recess because the trial was so long, and there was no investigation. We didn't do any investigation today, and that took up like our whole stream time. I was like, whoa. We don't have to like examine things or anything like that. Yeah, I like that. I like that cowboy guy because he's kind of ridiculous and he's a cowboy. You remember this case feeling so long? It's a really long case. The court trials are very long. Which doesn't mean it's bad, it's just long. And it's weird that like our defendant is like doesn't want to tell us anything. I mean, Miles was also like that, but he would at least be like, what do you believe? Do you think it was me? We're like, no. He's like, you knew it wasn't him. He was just kind of like that kind. A little bit soon. Oh my gosh. Well, we'll wrap it up here for now. We'll go back next week, play the next part of it. Anything to note? More Phoenix Wright next week. And then the week after that, we'll do the mystery game that none of you guys know what it is because I secretly planned a game I want to play for the week after. Ooh, could be anything. Very soupy flavored game, supposedly. Oh, and this week, I think this week is our release for the Ballad of Arts and Crafts episode 16 on YouTube, right? That's exciting. That's exciting. Jared's doing a lot of work on that. I've done like very minimal work on that. I was there. I didn't do anything. That's our one in-person session. So it's like a very, very cool episode. Very cool. That's on Friday, I'm pretty sure. This week? That's crazy. I think it's this week. Yeah, anything else? Anything else? Oh yeah, this Friday is also May Day, which is Lay Day. Oh, I created a thumbnail. That's right, I did create a thumbnail for that. That's my one contribution to this episode. Oh my goodness. I wish we could have more in-person sessions. It'd be so fun. Nah, that's it. That's all my thoughts about the game, about announcements. Mayday, Lay Day. Remember that. Go make a lay. Give it to someone. Hello, Opie. Welcome to the end of stream. Good morning. We just did all the announcements. Oh, you're really gonna want to watch this week's Bards and Crafts episode if you're caught up. Very exciting. I'm so sorry, Jay. We did the best we could with our joint experiences recording. Oh my goodness. Next time we'll be in a different room probably. Maybe it'll be a carpet. Maybe we'll have, I don't know. Maybe we'll have more than 2 mics. Ooh, no, that doesn't make sense. That would probably be worse. Well, depends on if they're directional or not. Maybe if we had like multiple directional mics, I would have fixed it. We'll fix some of it. So I think the type of mic that you had picks sound from every angle. Yeah, that's hard. I think that's it. Did I have anything else I needed to like shout out at all of you guys? I don't think so. I gotta give you like 4 seconds to respond, so because of the delay. No, I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. Thanks you guys for stopping by. I hope you had fun. See you next week. We'll finish the game. We'll finish the first part of the trilogy, I suppose, next week. Thank you for coming at the end. It'll be the short, like 1 minute. See y'all next time. Goodbye.